Welcome back to Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. It's the podcast where we watch Muppet Treasure Island 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Anthony Strand.
And I'm your other host, Ryan Rowe.
And today we are thrilled to be joined by a Tough Pigs pal, but a first-time guest. Guest, introduce yourself, please.
It's Katilyn from toughpigs.com, here with some facts to share with the poem about flowers and flossing, what pirates did back then, and whether or not Muppets have said amen. We've got deaths to count and a book to compare, apples to share, mutiny if we dare. Treasure Island looks like something from King Kong. All this and more from Moving Right Along.
Oh, wow.
That was incredible. That was incredible.
Yep.
Listen, they threw down the gauntlet, and we gotta keep it going.
Yeah, almost no one has, but yeah, you're keeping it going.
Well, we've had, technically you're the fourth, I think. We've had JD, Becca, Grant very briefly, and now you, so. But nobody did it on Christmas Carol. Like, that's what I love.
Yeah.
Is it did not happen once during that whole season, and now it's
no.
Like
I think what it took was JD saying this is now required of every guest.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, so we are here today to talk about minutes 51 and 52 of Muppet Treasure Island, and in these minutes, Mr. Arrow takes off on his boat trip, and everyone else is sad about it. So we do start where we left off last week. Mr. Arrow says, "Cast me off, sir." But sneaky old Long John, before he casts him off, asks if there's anything he can hold for safekeeping, such as hat, coat, keys, and Mr. Arrow, a fool, just hands it all over. He says
he does it so nonchalantly, the way he's like, it's just occurring to him, like, your keys? Like, oh, maybe that's something that I just thought you might want to hand to me.
And Sam responds by like, you think maybe, oh, he's onto something? But then he's like, oh no, of course my keys.
Well, and I do appreciate that they have Sam say, of course, if they were to fall overboard, it would be disastrous. Like that he hears it like the way we would think about our, keys or phone now, where it's like, if this goes in the ocean, I'm in trouble.
That's true.
Well, he's not a waterfowl. He's not a duck.
That's true. He can't swim down to go get it.
I guess that's true. Bald eagles catch fish out of the water, but I guess they can't swim on the water themselves, huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. And we get a look at full-bodied Sam here. Have we ever seen him like this?
So we talked about this last week because we saw him full-bodied in the last clip as well. So we actually did go through kind of a list on Muppet Wiki. But no, we've never seen him like this. Like, these legs were definitely built for this movie. No question.
Yeah. And there were some earlier examples where he had yellow feet like this, but earlier, I think mostly illustrated examples where he had blue feet, which looked weird.
Oh.
Yeah.
But they also don't look as if they would hold him up as tall as he is, like when he's standing next to Kermit. So
like they would support his weight, or yeah.
They're just so tiny.
Although that's a common thing, like with the Muppets, where if you think about it, like Rizzo should be knee-high to Fozzie or something, right? But
yes, Rizzo is floating.
Right, yeah. But like the eye lines, for the eye lines to work out, Rizzo needs to be hanging in midair, So he just is, and that's just kind of something we got to go with, I suppose.
Yeah, you usually just never think about it.
Right. And then what happens next in this movie? Oh, Sam once again says, "Cast me off, Mr. Silver." And this time Long John does throw down the rope. Sam says, "Thank you." And what I really like here is that we're looking up at Long John, like from the lifeboat's point of view, basically.
Mm-hmm.
We see the boat rocking. We hear the sound of oars moving, but we don't see Sam rowing. So they don't have to spend the time or money or effort to make Sam physically row. Like they just give it to us auditorily so we can imagine what it looks like.
Yeah, good catch. I also noticed in the shot where Sam ostensibly stands up in the boat to hand his hat full of keys to Long John, you don't actually see Sam in the shot where Long John takes the hat. You just see the hat sticking up in the bottom of the frame. So, presumably they could just have a puppeteer or a stagehand or whoever. So they didn't have to worry about the logistics of getting Sam in position to reach all the way up to Long John on the boat.
Right. And it really is kind of remarkable how well those illusions work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Although you wonder how far it is from the deck to where the boat is on the water, which I actually looked up, and that span of space is called the freeboard.
Freeboard.
I learned a lot of nautical things this week.
Great, please.
And so,
Tell
like,
them all.
for this type of ship, it looks like it would be about 2.5 to 5 feet. So I feel like,
yeah, that's
Sam
reasonable.
can reach up. Yeah, it's not
Yeah, I
like
guess
he's
so.
from 10 feet down.
Yeah, we don't know what Sam's wingspan is, but good. I mean, it's plausible.
Yeah.
But what happens next is after he gets the keys, Long John, this is a delightful Tim Curry moment, in my opinion. Long John gets the keys, looks at the keys, like does an evil chuckle, and then says, "Oh yes, John," to himself out loud. Which is, it's just, I feel like this is the kind of stuff. I don't know if Tim Curry ad-libbed that. Like, did you happen to note if that was in the script? Long John saying, "Oh yes, John."
I didn't notice it in the draft. No, I don't know.
Sure, because it feels like something that happened on the day.
I think probably, yeah.
It's so like casual and odd.
Right.
And it fits. It works with the way he's playing the character, like big.
Right. Yeah.
And so what do we think is happening here? Is it that Sam is testing the boat to see if it is safe? And then do we assume that he gets lost in the fog? Because he does have oars to get around.
Right. You're asking, like, why does it take him so long to come back?
Yeah, like if he has oars, he can get himself around. But if he did he get lost in the fog and then not be able to find the boat on his way back?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing is that the ship is still moving.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, yeah, I guess it doesn't. I suppose the most plausible explanation is that he got lost in the fog, like you say.
Yeah, he just kind of gets left behind, I guess, in the fog. And then, Long John, what I was wondering, does Long John actually assume that Mr. Arrow is dead? Or is he just like, I got rid of him for now, that's good enough?
Well, I feel like this whole I don't mean to be like Mr. CinemaSins. I don't like to do it. I don't want to do it. But this whole thing feels a little not quite thought through, because they're like next thing we're going to see is next thing is someone yelling "man overboard," right? And
right.
then Mudwell the Mud Bunny is going to tell Kermit Mr. Arrow went overboard, or Mr. Arrow's gone overboard and all we found was his hat. But they know that there's a lifeboat gone. Like, Kermit and everyone on board would know that a lifeboat is missing. And Sam is missing. So, it doesn't really make any sense to just tell Kermit he went overboard and that's a good enough explanation.
Oh,
I don't know.
You mean it, as opposed to telling him Mr. Arrow was testing one of the lifeboats and he capsized, or something like that.
Yeah, why not just tell him that?
Or even just that Arrow wasn't trustworthy and he stole a boat and...
Yeah, because it feels like setting up Kermit to discover that there's a boat missing, and then just nothing ever comes of that. And I know it's Muppet Treasure Island. Yeah. It doesn't need to be airtight. I certainly don't. This is not me being like, screenwriting. You ever heard of it, gentlemen? That's not what I mean, because who cares?
No, but you're right that they don't acknowledge that there's a lifeboat missing. I wonder if that was something that got cut from some version of the script because they just decided it wasn't important enough. I don't know.
Right. And also watching this clip for this episode is the first time I've ever thought about it.
I hadn't thought about it until you just said it.
Right. I've been watching this movie for 28 years, and so it's like, it's obviously not that big of a deal.
Right.
But so we see a wide shot of the ship and we hear someone yell "man overboard."
We also hear a rooster crowing.
Oh, really?
That's what it sounds like to me.
Because it's morning. That's the morning sound.
How else are you going to know it's morning time if you don't hear the rooster crow?
I guess, yeah. They have a rooster on the ship.
Yeah, that's the sound of the morning.
The sun makes that.
That's how it works. But I was gonna say the man yelling "man overboard." It sounds like Jerry Nelson, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You think so? You thought so too?
Yeah, but I
Couldn't
wasn't sure
tell.
if it was supposed to be a particular character, if it's just
Yeah, I feel like it's the announcer of the Muppet Show or something. Like it's just Jerry Nelson. I don't know.
I think in my mind it was one of the human pirates on the, one of the human crew members, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, I'm not sure.
Hmm.
But it's funny because we see Mudwell the Mud Bunny. Like I said, he knocks on Kermit's door, tells him that Sam went missing, and all we found was his hat, and that's clearly Dave Goelz. Mudwell the Mud Bunny is definitely Dave, and I don't think that's him yelling "man overboard."
No, I don't think so.
No way, that's Dave.
no.
So it's somebody else.
And Mudwell has been performed by other puppeteers previously in this movie, so
Yeah, it is interesting how there's like a crew aboard the ship, because it's very different from Christmas Carol where we have like a new cast every scene,
right.
Whereas this one, it's like the same group of Muppets are on the ship, but they clearly just didn't care who was playing them. It was just grab
Right,
a
yeah, it
puppet
doesn't really matter. Yeah.
And especially with the songs, I'm sure like they recorded that stuff in the studio. They're not thinking about like Dave Goelz has played Mudwell with like
No,
we need to match his voice with this puppet when we've already recorded the song.
Do a voice, and then 6 months later, on the set, grab a puppet. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Kermit is wearing, I guess, either pajamas or a dressing gown, which looks very nice and comfortable, and he's wearing a little Kermit-sized nightcap, which is delightful.
he's dressed like a tiny Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, exactly. And he's got a little tied in a bow around his neck.
Yeah.
Adorable.
Yeah, Kermit's a good buddy. But in this one, he looks very sad because he just found out that Sam the Eagle is dead.
Yeah.
So he looks worried. He makes kind of a ooh, noise.
Yeah.
And we go straight to the deck where now they're having a funeral. They're straight up having a funeral for this man because they found his hat.
All they found was his hat. That means he must be dead.
Yes. And so now during this scene, we are cutting back and forth between two things. And the first one of those is Kermit presiding over a funeral. It seems like a pretty typical like shipboard funeral that we've seen in other movies and pirate shows. Like I just watched Master and Commander. Russell Crowe kind of presides over a funeral the same way as Kermit does in this one. That's when Russell Crowe most reminded me of Kermit.
Ever in history.
Yes, ever in history. Kermit should have played that character, Jack Aubrey in Master.
They should remake Master and Commander, but with Muppets.
Dude, what if it was all the same cast except Kermit was captain?
Wow.
Lucky Jack.
He has it looks like kind of a makeshift lectern with a Bible and Sam's hat, and then a little vase of some flowers that look like they're dead or dying, which is a nice touch because they've been at sea for a while, so they're not going to have fresh flowers on hand.
Well, and they wouldn't have had flowers on the boat because that one of the sea superstitions is that flowers mean funerals, and if you bring flowers on the boat, it means, it's a bad omen.
Oh,
is that right?
And so looking at these, they look like they're Nigella seed pods, which they might actually have because one of the species of Nigella is used as like a cooking ingredient, like a spice. So it would be possible, sort of, and the seed pods are actually used like in bouquets for weddings. Like my cousin used one in her bouquet. So they do just look cool as well.
That is, I'm so glad that you have all this knowledge about this.
Well, and that's if it's a cooking ingredient, then Long John might have it on hand, and then he would be like, "Oh, well, here, let me help you with the funeral by giving you these seed pods."
Well, he looks very sad.
That's awesome.
Just like everybody else, except New Zealand. I think everyone is able to look sad, even the Muppets, except for New Zealand, who still looks as goofy as always.
He can't help it. Well, I also noticed, though, there's that the guy with the red fluffy beard, Mr. Bitta, it looks like he yawns at one point. He opens his mouth and puts his hand over his mouth like he's yawning during Kermit's eulogy, which I thought was funny.
Hmm. And Fozzie dabs at his finger with the handkerchief
Yes,
for Mr.
yes.
Bimbo.
Yeah.
I don't. I think I've made it clear that I'm not a big fan of Mr. Bimbo, but that I laughed at.
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah,
so
because Mr. Bimbo's crying too.
I was once again saying earlier today that I have to make a podcast about Muppet Treasure Island, and I said it, derisively as I often do. And my son Miles, again, 6 years old, he goes, "That movie's silly." And I said, "Yeah, buddy, you like it?" And he goes, "Yeah, I like it because of Mr. Bimbo." And I'm like, "Miles," he goes, "Yeah, he lives in his finger. That's silly." So
there you go. I guess that's the target demographic for that joke.
Yeah, 6-year-olds.
Thatcher,
maybe he'll
right on the pulse of the 6-year-old.
Right.
It's true. It's so true. So maybe I'll come around. Maybe Miles will wear me down, and by the end of this movie, I'll be a Mr. Bimbo enthusiast.
I wanted to mention though, while we're talking about that, do you follow Fozzie on Facebook?
No.
Either of you?
I didn't know that was something one could do.
Yep, I think it's Fozzie's official Facebook page. Unless it was just the Muppets page, but he posted something this week as we're recording this about Mr. Bimbo, saying that Mr. Bimbo moved out of his finger years ago and now lives in Palm Springs.
Oh,
so there's
I did see that.
An update on the whereabouts of Mr. Bimbo.
I did see it too because our frequent guest Grant Harding tagged me in a comment to make sure that I saw it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And I responded, "No thanks." So anyways, but it's back at the funeral. Oh man. Oh no.
Oh, should we all act sad and serious because we're going back to the funeral?
We should all act sad.
Okay.
But there is actually a joke here because Kermit says, "Samuel Arrow, a wonderful man who used to get us up before dawn for a good flossing."
Now, why flossing? Is it because it sounds like flogging?
I mean, I guess so, but it also makes sense as something Sam would be very strict about, I think. Because it's an element of personal hygiene that is often ignored.
Yeah.
True.
Especially on a pirate ship or on a sailing ship.
It's something you would do in the morning. You floss before you start your day. I don't know.
I don't know.
Sam
I always
doesn't
do it
have
at night.
Teeth.
But maybe he's jealous. Maybe he wishes that he had teeth.
When I looked it up,
him.
and floss wasn't even commercially available until 1882. So.
Oh.
So but at least it's older than the NBA. So there's that. It's also older than Star Trek. It's also older than cruise ships, maybe? Commercial cruise ships? I don't know.
Commercial cruise ships? I don't know, because there were just ocean liners that were for travel for a long time.
Right. Yeah.
Before
but
cruise
not
ships,
like the cruise ships that Rizzo runs in this movie.
No, exactly. That's a luxury.
Oh. Yeah. But then the last thing we hear Kermit say is he says, "Rest in peace, my friend. Amen." And as Katilyn, as you alluded to, the others say amen, or some of them do only. Only some Muppets say it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some of them aren't religious.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because none of the rest of the speech had any religious elements. It's not like, Sam is with our Lord and Savior now.
No, you're right. And he has the Bible on the table, but he doesn't open it or read from it.
Yeah. Which, I get it. I mean, it's Muppet Treasure Island. It doesn't need to have a sermon in the middle of it. It doesn't need to have an explicitly religious sermon in the middle of it.
Right.
But I think the word amen is most commonly associated with religious ceremonies in general.
Yeah.
I don't even think they say it in Muppet Christmas Carol, despite the fact that they've got they go to church, they sing a song about blessings.
Right. That movie, they actually talk about God and Jesus in, right? And yeah, you're right. I don't think they do. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know if we should note, but I put it in my notes, so I'm going to say it. Amen is a Hebrew word that means truly or it is so.
I always learned it as "so be it." Yeah, I guess
So be
that's
it,
pretty
sure,
much the same
yeah.
as "it is so."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it truly is the same as verily, and so be it is the same as it is so.
yeah.
But while Kermit is talking, the whole time that Kermit is delivering his eulogy, we see the pirate gang escape from their cell. Clueless Morgan unlocks the cell. Him and Monty kind of like defer to the other one, and then Polly says, "Will you just come on?" and runs out.
Mhm.
Which I think is a very funny bit of puppetry. Is Polly actually running when he says, "Will you just come on?"
Oh yeah.
Polly, I've realized watching this movie, Polly is underrated. I think everything Kevin Clash does with that puppet is so funny. Just like the way that he moves and looks around and is always annoyed, constantly annoyed, is never happy for a second.
When he first appeared in the movie, we sort of commented about how he doesn't have a lot to do, but really that's because he's introduced as if he's going to be Long John's sidekick for the movie, but then he's really not. It's just Polly as sort of the ringleader of this trio of evil pirate Muppets, and yeah, in that capacity, he does get stuff to do, and yeah, he's pretty funny.
I also really like Polly's design because, like, in certain scenes of these 2 minutes, you can see that he has like a patch sewn on his carapace. So instead of having like an eye patch, he's got, his shell has.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that rules. Yeah, we talked to you about the design of Frank. These guys are so cool looking. I said that when they were introduced, but I really do. I love them.
Yeah.
But they sneak into Kermit's office, and as soon as Kermit says amen, they find the map, and Polly laughs triumphantly, which is another nice moment for him.
Yeah.
And Clueless urges him to open it, and Polly says, "No, we got to take it to Long John." So that's a tease for what's going to happen later.
Yeah, I guess so. It's kind of an odd little moment because I feel like we, the audience, already understand that they're going to take it to Long John, but
yeah, but
is that just to make sure that we know?
Well, I mean, like we've talked about, this movie has a lot of those like make sure the kids understand moments.
I guess so. Yeah. Okay.
Where it's like Gonzo's like, "We're on the dock," or whatever.
Yeah, like in case you still haven't figured it out, these three guys are working with Long John.
Yes, Long John is also a pirate.
Yeah, I also just like the way Polly's claw sort of snaps around the treasure map because he's a lobster, so he does have claws rather than fingers.
Yeah,
that looks cool. Yeah,
yeah, that's good. So then we get another exciting shot of the ship sailing, and finally we cut to the outside of an apple barrel, and that's where we stop. That's the last. We don't know what's going to happen with that apple barrel.
What could be the significance of an apple barrel?
Stored next to the gunpowder. They're making some really weird gunpowder barrel choices in this movie.
That's true. That's true. But you need it. You need them both for gunpowder apple pie, which is a delicacy aboard a pirate ship. I don't know.
Of course.
But so that is the end. So before we move on, any other thoughts about these 2 minutes? Katilyn, I'll start with you.
Well, so at the very end, you can hear someone spit, but we don't know who it is or what they're spitting. Maybe they're just spitting mad.
I hope so. That would have been good.
With everything that's been going on, yeah.
Did they accidentally eat the gunpowder? Like what?
And spit it out?
Oh, no.
That would actually be a pretty good bit. Was that it?
I just wanted to say that like the lighting and the framing of so many shots are like really awesome, and we'll see maybe a little bit more of this in the next 2 minutes, but like it really shows that they are on a very small ship. They're basically like crammed into places and walking all over each other, and the light is they're dependent on the sun and very small light, so it's shot really well to give that effect. So I love that.
Yeah,
good job,
awesome.
Brian Henson.
That's right. And do we remember who the cinematographer is on this one?
Oh, I don't remember. They also did a very good job, though.
It's almost the entire same crew, right? Like John Fenner was the cinematographer on the picture. So good work, John Fenner.
Yes.
Also,
good job.
And Ryan, any any other thoughts on these 2 minutes or notes from the screenplay?
Yes, a few things from the June 1st, 1994 draft of the screenplay. There is another brief scene here after Mr. Arrow casts off. Gonzo and Rizzo are in hammocks on the deck. They're very cold because they have to sleep outside on the deck as cabin boys. And then Jim shows up and starts packing up his things. They ask him what he's doing, and he says Long John has invited him to move in with the rest of the crew below deck. And Gonzo and Rizzo get very excited. They start packing up their things, and then he has to sort of sheepishly tell them that no, it's just an invitation for him. Gonzo and Rizzo are not invited, so they are very disappointed. And then later they peek into to where Jim is hanging out with the rest of the crew, and they see Jim having a great time and smoking a pipe.
Oh.
So yeah, that's interesting. We do not get Jim smoking a pipe in this movie.
I think that's a good thing to remove. Like, I don't think we need that. Like, I feel like we already get that from, like, oh, the human beings are hanging out together.
Yeah, we get the idea, and we understand that Long John is ultimately not a good influence on Jim. There's also a moment. I think this is part of what we already saw, where Kermit is looking at the picture of Piggy, but in the draft there's a flashback to Kermit and Piggy on a beach, and the stage directions say that Piggy falls down like Deborah Kerr in From Here to Eternity, and that Kermit is running behind her carrying a surfboard. So that would have been pretty out of place, I think. So that was a good cut. Also, that scene From Here to Eternity, is that the most parodied, like the most spoofed scene that people have seen parodies of it without ever having seen the actual movie? Because I've never seen From Here to Eternity, but I know that I've seen a million spoofs of it in other things, and I know when you see two people like making out in the crashing waves on a beach, that's what that's a reference to.
I mean, part of that is just the passage of time, though. Like, that was a big hit. That won Best Picture. Like, you know, I think you haven't seen it because you were born like 30 years after it came out. But
that's true. But I guess
the people who were spoofing it did see it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. You think it's just these days as it once was, you're saying, like compared to Casablanca or whatever?
Definitely these days. Oh yeah, I don't think it's left quite the footprint that Casablanca has, for sure, which is also, you still see spoofs of that, and yeah, you would even see that spoofed in kids entertainment. I don't know, like I feel like there were just so many, even into the 80s and 90s, of that scene in Here to Eternity, even though maybe a lot of the younger people in the audience
and kind of
hadn't
nothing
seen it.
else from it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what else happens in that movie other than they make out in the crashing waves. That's what that movie's about, for all I know. It's just an hour and a half of that.
No.
Anyway.
No, it's about Pearl Harbor.
Oh, is it? See, I had no idea.
Yes.
All right. Well, maybe I should watch it.
All right. It's good. It's a good movie. You should. Donna Reed is incredible.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. I'm sure it is. Anyway, yeah, then I'll know the context of that scene. Also in the draft, though, Mad Monty is at the funeral, and everyone, as we see in this, all the pirates are pretending to cry, except for Mad Monty, who starts laughing. So Long John jams his crutch on Monty's foot, so Monty starts crying for real, which is actually pretty funny. I think they could have done that.
So were they not locked up in that version of the script?
No, I don't think they ever get locked up in the draft. No, because they don't have the torture scene either. So I guess that never led up to that. And then also in the draft, it's our old friend Israel Hands who actually steals the treasure map. He reaches in with his backwards hands to pull the map out of the desk. And finally, Zoot plays the bagpipes at the funeral. That would have been nice to see.
Oh, buddy.
I want to see Zoot play bagpipes. I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, they could have done that.
Just like in Wrath of Khan, when they play Amazing Grace on bagpipes at the funeral.
Is it one of the main characters playing bagpipes?
No, it's just like a character.
Oh, okay.
It's presumably the Enterprise staff musician. I don't know.
Sure.
Although I do like the idea that it's like Scotty pulls out the bagpipes.
Oh, there you go. That's perfect. Why not?
Yeah. Let's see. Now I'm second guessing if it is Scotty because he's Scottish, but I don't think it is. Let's see.
Well, probably not all Scottish people play bagpipes.
Right. Let's see. Amazing Grace. Spock. Spoiler, Spock dies in the Wrath of Khan.
I do remember that.
It is Scotty. Scotty does play the bagpipes in Wrath of Khan.
Listen, they weren't beyond stereotypes by that point.
But I know. Right. Exactly. Wow. Yeah, there's going to be Star Trek fans in the audience yelling at me for saying it's not one of the main characters.
So, but you fixed it. So,
I've seen that movie
what
so
this
many
means,
times, too.
What this means
That's
is
right.
Zoot is Scottish.
There you go.
It's the only possible conclusion we could come
Because
to.
why would anyone else learn to play bagpipes?
Oh. So I have one thing from The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is that, as we've mentioned, Mr. Arrow is a very different character in the book. He's just like a worthless alcoholic man who is incapable of doing his job. And the crew's reaction to his death is very different in the book. Also, overboard, said the captain. Well, gentlemen, that saves the trouble of putting him in irons.
Oh.
But then Jim, our narrator Jim, says, but there we were without a mate, and it was necessary, of course, to advance one of the men. The boatswain, Job Anderson, was the likeliest man aboard, and though he kept his old title, he served, in a way, as mate. So there you go. That's what this movie needs, is Job Anderson stepping up to take on Sam
Which
Nichols.
Muppet would play Job Anderson?
We already established that. Oh, no, we didn't.
Oh, did
I don't
we?
remember it. We established that.
I have no idea.
No, we established that Hugo Weaving's going to show up after the credits to say Mr. Anderson.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Okay.
Let's say that it's
Or it's a cameo by Keanu Reeves as Mr. Anderson.
Job Anderson.
3 years before The Matrix, so nobody knows why, but
Yeah, it's
There
a
he is.
preview. It's a tease.
yeah, exactly.
That's what they do in shared movie universes. They set up later movies. So it's like
A
when you-
shared movie universe
when you
like
go
The
back-
Matrix and Muppet Treasure Island.
Muppet Treasure Island, yeah. It's like when you go back and watch Age of Ultron. Andy Serkis was in this. What? Remember that? Andy Serkis,
yeah.
Black Panther.
Yeah.
Anyways, it
I
happened.
mean, people would have believed it of Keanu Reeves, so sure.
Yeah, why not? That would rule. It would rule if
Yeah, everybody would be happy to see him.
Yeah. So finally, Katilyn, we ask all of our guests 2 questions. And the first one is, what is your history with the movie Muppet Treasure Island?
My history, as far as I know, I don't remember seeing it as a kid. I would have been, and my siblings would have been around the right age in 1996 to have wanted to see it. But my tiny little town had a 1-screen movie theater, and I'm pretty sure they didn't get this. Not that we were, theater going people for the most part. And I don't remember us having the VHS. And did they ever play Muppet Treasure Island on like Nickelodeon or anything? Because I never remember seeing it on TV.
On the Disney Channel, they would have,
time,
but
in like early 2000s.
yeah.
Which, we didn't really have access to. We weren't the subscribers. So as far as I know, the first time I watched this was in like 2018, 2019, when I was like, I need all of the Muppet films on physical media. And so I,
Wow.
was introducing my child to all of the Muppet stuff. And I think that would have been my first time too. Because like I am mostly a social watcher. So I like to watch it with other people. So the excuse was that, going to introduce Muppets to my kid, and I'm going to finally get to watch Muppet Treasure Island. So I think I've only seen it like 2 or 3 times total.
Okay.
Wow. So then, having seen it recently, where do you rank it among the Muppet movies?
I am one of those people who doesn't really rank things. Because I grew up in a pretty large family, and we didn't have infinite TVs, as I assume most US households do. So when we watched something, first of all, you weren't really watching the thing that, you yourself wanted to watch. It was usually a compromise. And then you were always watching it with other people. And so like, I think that really molded how I enjoy media. So I usually want to watch with someone else or a group. And as long as everyone's enjoying it, I am enjoying it. And I am enjoying it because they're enjoying it, not necessarily because, I think it's a great movie for all of these listed reasons. So I think that's why I find it hard to rank things, just because my experience is the group experience. With one exception, I did watch The Happening by M. Night Shyamalan on opening night. I do not recommend opening night movies really for anybody, having worked at a movie theater myself. And I don't remember the exact moment or what was happening, but old Marky Mark said something meant to be serious. And instead of taking it as whatever serious thing he said, I laughed out loud and the whole theater turned and looked at me. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
Oh, no.
So I would love to watch it with a group of people who would also like to laugh at it, and that would make it great. But so I wouldn't rank it necessarily. So if you get me with a people who are going to riff on the movie, then I will riff. If you get me with a group of people who love the movie, then I'm just going to enjoy the experience. So,
Well, so then what did your kid think of the movie?
Alas, my child is not a lover of Muppet things. I cannot get him to sit down and watch unless I'm not letting him watch anything else. It's like he'll watch Bear in the Big Blue House if that's the only thing I'm going to let him watch at the moment. He's more like, can I watch Pokemon? Can I watch Spidey and His Amazing Friends?
Yeah. All right.
Sure.
So it's hard for me to be able to be like, no, we're watching Muppets, and then nobody in the house wants to watch Muppets. So
because
yeah.
You don't want to force it on anybody. Yeah.
You're exactly. You must enjoy this.
You're gonna like this. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I've been. My kids do like Muppets, as I've said, but there's other stuff that I would love them to be a fan of that it just hasn't worked, and that's how it goes, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Man, maybe someday they'll open up to it.
But yet, I had to watch how many John Wayne movies because my dad was.
Oh.
Nice. My dad is an Eastwood guy, so we grew up in different denominations. But
the two religions, Clint Eastwood and John Wayne.
It's kind of true. All right, let's see. We have to end the podcast. Yes, because I'm the host of the podcast.
We haven't done that yet.
All right. We haven't done it yet. So that just about brings us down to the end. Listeners, you can check out toughpigs.com on the website at that address, on Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram. We're all over the place. You can become a patron of Tough Pigs on Patreon. We would love that. You can email us at movingrightalong@toughpigs.com to tell us if you grew up in the Church of Randolph Scott for some reason. You can follow Ryan on Blue Sky at me, Ryan Rowe, and you can follow me on Blue Sky at Durwood Clapper. You can follow Ryan on Letterboxd at Movies Are Neat, and you can follow me on Letterboxd at Zeppo Marxist. Katilyn, where can our listener find you and/or your work online?
You can follow me on Blue Sky. I am at Katilyn. That's the letters K and T and then LYN. Or you can join the Tough Pigs Discord, of which I am one of the moderators. So I am always there, always reading.
And you are doing such a great job. Yeah.
Becca and I are a wonderful team. We're making it work.
And we really appreciate it. Like,
yes.
As a person on the Tough Pigs staff who mostly just gets to hang back and like do what participate when I want to, I really appreciate all the work you put in. Like, truly, it's a gift.
Well, it's really nice when everyone comes in and just offers the expertise and the excitement that they have, so that, keeps conversation lively and things flowing. I'm always amazed what information and knowledge you all have, and you're just going to drop some wisdom in the Discord, and it's like, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks so much for that. And again, thanks for being here. And thank you to Morgan Davy for designing our beautiful logo. And listeners, thank you for listening. Thank you for that positive review you're about to give us. And thank you for telling every single person aboard the ship to listen to Moving Right Along. We'll be back next week with another episode. Goodbye.
Make sure to floss.